Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I am doing the weekly Twin Flame Soulmate energy reading, and if you missed my last one, basically this is a series where I'm going to be doing like the typical Soulmate Twin Flame readings where I'm able to use my tarot cards to tap into your energy and give you guidance, except mine is a little bit more self-focused, so I don't really check in on the soulmate or tell you what they're doing, and I explained why I'm doing it this way in my last video, so if you have not seen that, go and check that out. I'm actually going to do this video pretty quickly because it is like burning hot in my room, and my air is broken, so I can't have my fan on or else you won't be able to hear me. So this video is going to be not rushed, but it's going to be maybe not as long as the last one, or I might have to take breaks in between because I don't want to pass out. So yeah, I'm just burning sage, and then I'm just going to get my cards out, and then we can get into it. Ooh, okay, good energy. We have the Emperor, the Six of Wands, and we have the Nine of Cups. And again, I'm going to have to just hold the cards up to you because I can't really maneuver my camera to point down at the cards right now. So these are the cards: the Emperor, the Six of Wands in reverse, and then the Nine of Cups. Okay, so with this Emperor card being here, I always read Emperor energy as someone who has taken back control of their life, or someone who is in complete control of themselves, their environment, like someone who has it all together. This could be a negative thing or a positive thing, but I'm reading it as a positive because I'm feeling like for the people who are watching this video, this is the card I'm referring to, I'm feeling like for the people who are watching this video who have been in the soulmate experience, you may have felt like you have been out of control for a while, as if your soulmate or your twin flame has been in control of your feelings, and it's like whatever they do or whatever they don't do kind of dictates how your days go or how your energy is. And I feel like a lot of you are taking your power back, so that's a good thing. And I feel like a lot of you are finally starting to feel like you are fully in control of yourself. This card is also a card about setting healthy boundaries. So a lot of you through this experience could have learned the importance of boundaries, both internal and external boundaries. Like an external boundary is like when someone goes in to give you a hug and you don't want to hug them, so you kind of like back up and you extend your hand and then they shake your hand. Like you have basically showed them that you have an external physical boundary and they cannot touch you in that way. An internal boundary is more like when you tell someone that you don't like to be spoken to a certain way, or you don't like someone's tone of voice, and if they continue to speak to you that way and make you feel that way, then you have to disengage from them. That is an internal boundary. So I feel like you are getting the grasp of the importance of setting healthy external and internal boundaries. If you were with a soulmate who was more so like emotionally unavailable, people who are emotionally unavailable, or people who like keep their feelings to themselves, they have mastered the art of setting a boundary, but in a very extreme way. So when it comes to these soulmate experiences, it's like they have a little something of the trait that you need, and you have a little something of the trait that they need. So I feel like what you could learn from them is how to really, really be stern in setting your boundaries, and to not, how do I put this, not to overextend yourself to people. You see what I'm saying? Like they can learn how to be a bit more vulnerable from you and a little bit more open, and you can learn to be a bit more stern with them. Or it could be vice versa, you know, depending on who's watching this video. So with the Six of Wands being here in reverse, I'm getting two things from this. Some of you could be feeling like you are defeated, or feeling like you are not getting the recognition you deserve, especially if like the soulmate cycle just ended and you feel like, and you're like reflecting back on it, at how much you have put into the cycle and how much you have praised this person, and you feel like, I'm almost getting like this energy of feeling foolish that they didn't praise you in the same way that you praised them. I feel like this card is also talking about the importance of reflecting on who you put on a pedestal, because I think I actually mentioned this in the last reading, I'm not sure, but I feel like a lot of you have put your soulmate or twin flame on this pedestal, or on this like, it's like on this level that you feel like you are looking up to them, and you wanted them to look up to you as well. Like you wanted them to acknowledge you the way you acknowledge them, but because you put them on that pedestal, it's kind of hard to be, how do I put this? It's kind of hard to expect someone to see you on an equal level when you put them below you. You know what I'm saying? Or you've put yourself below them. I mean, it's like, that's not to say just because you put one up on a pedestal, they have the right to treat you a certain way, or they have the right to look down on you, because they don't. But when you put people up on a pedestal and you don't put yourself up there, that's where the first mistake is at, because then you put yourself in a position to be downplayed. I hope I'm explaining that correctly. So I feel like some of you are experiencing that. You're feeling kind of like defeated, or you're reflecting back on how much you were unappreciated and you just don't like it. It's like a very negative feeling, but that feeling could be leading you to understand the healthy boundaries that you have to set, and it's also teaching you a lesson to go into your future relationships and partnerships with. You see what I'm saying? So, but I feel like that's not the case for all of you. I feel like for some of you, oh, I didn't show you the card. I feel like for some of you, you are coming out of the energy of feeling like you want your soulmate's attention or recognition. Now you are understanding that you don't need it and that you never needed it. And if you are not experiencing that now, you will be experiencing that soon. This feeling of feeling like, okay, I wanted your love, your validation, and approval, and now I kind of don't. Because the more you like set healthy boundaries and the more you actually put yourself up on that pedestal, like if you see the Emperor card here, he's like sitting on his throne. It's like when you put yourself up on that throne, and you start like really rebuilding your self-confidence and regaining control of your life and your energy, you feel like you need external validation far less, especially from this soulmate. So I'm seeing here with the 9 of Cups in the upright that, okay, I'm seeing completely 2 different things here. One scenario I'm seeing is that, I hope you can see this because the light. One scenario I'm seeing is that some of you could be feeling proud of yourself that you're coming out of this cycle. You're feeling like, okay, I've been through all this with the soulmate, I've learned my lessons, and you're at the tail end of the energy. So you're not like stuck in it's like with the soulmate cycle, it's like a beginning, middle, and an end, like a tail, you know? So the middle of it is when you go through like the dark night of the soul, like you're severely depressed. This is when your soulmate could have moved on with someone else, or they had just showed no interest in you no matter how much you tried. And then when you get towards the tail end of a soulmate cycle, it's like you're feeling so relieved that you're not feeling constricted and stuck to them like you were. Like you're feeling like those chains that were pulling you towards them are actually starting to break. So I feel like some of you are in that energy right now and you are feeling victorious, and this is giving you like the energy to move forward out of the cycle. But then I also feel like some of you have adopted this, should we call it an ego? I don't know if I want to say ego, but that's what it is. But your ego serves an important purpose. It's like when you have been degraded and downplayed so much by someone that you love, or like they've just ignored you and just has not given you the love that you've given to them. Sometimes you feel like you can't pull yourself out of that hole unless you step into this egotistical energy of being like, okay, well, I don't care about them. I'm better than them. I'm better than the other person that they're with, and things of that sort. And I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't think like that, because sometimes thinking like that kind of pulls you up out of that hole that you're in. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like a fake it till you make it type of thing. Just make sure that you are not using that as a way to fully recover. I hope I'm explaining this right. It's like you want to recover from a space of, okay, I don't care if they moved on. I still know I'm a good person. I still know that I have good qualities and I can get someone different. As opposed to saying, okay, well, that person's beneath me anyway. Because then that's false self-love. You see what I'm saying? That's that's ego instead of real self-love. Self-love is like, okay, even if I don't see them, that other person, my soulmate or twin flame, as beneath me, I can still lift myself up. But if you feel like you have to degrade them or like talk down about them or think low of them in order to lift yourself up completely, then that's coming from a place of ego. And like I said, if you have to do that to climb out of, you know, a hole like that, you feel like your self-esteem has completely plummeted, then that's fine. Just don't adopt that framework for your whole healing journey. You see what I'm saying? Make sure that you are not developing self-esteem just based off of ego, because then that's when self-esteem is very like fickle, and then it can easily be taken away from you. So let me clarify each card. I hope I'm explaining all of this right. All right, so clarifying the Emperor card, we have the Lover's card in reverse. Can you see this? I really need to get some new cards. This holographic card thing is just, it looks good in pictures, but it's just not working out on video. Okay. So, with the Emperor being clarified by the Lovers in reverse, I feel as though some of you are coming to the stage where you are learning how to surrender to the soulmate process, meaning that before you could have been thinking about ways to contact your soulmate or twin flame, that you could have been really just trying to figure out ways to get back in their good graces or get back in their life or get them back into yours. But now you feel like you kind of don't even have the option of doing that. Like all doors could have been closed off to you. So now you feel like you don't have a choice. And because you have been put in this position where you don't have a choice, that's actually giving you your power back. Like a lot of people who go through this experience, did I show you guys the cards? Yeah, I did. A lot of people who go through this experience, they like I said, when it comes to surrender, they feel like they're giving their power away by surrendering to the process, but really that's how you take your power back, is by no longer trying to figure out ways to not be manipulative, but to get things back to the way they used to be, to get that person to treat you a way that maybe they treated you in the beginning, or to try to like rekindle a friendship. And it's like figuring out that it's not your job to control the situation, and surrendering to the fact that it's not your job and it's not your place and you don't have to. That is not a weakness. You know what I'm saying? That is actually a strength, because it allows you to take your power back. When you are constantly in contact with someone who you feel like you've given your power away to, it's hard to take your power back when you are still in contact with them. So I feel like all the doors could have been closed to the soulmate, meaning like you can't even get to them or communicate with them even if you tried. And I'm saying that this is a positive thing, because this is what is allowing you to rejuvenate yourself, to heal yourself, and to ultimately take back control of your life without this person kind of controlling how you see yourself and how you see like the world. Because I feel like when you're in like the really bad stage of the soulmate like relationship, literally everything that they do has such a large impact on you that it impacts your entire day, to the point where you can't even like, everything just looks like bleak and dark. It could be so sunny outside, and then when you're in like the throes of like the really bad part of the soulmate cycle, where you're just having so many issues with your soulmate, everything just looks crazy outside. Like everything just looks horrible and drab. And I feel like a lot of you are coming out of this energy now, and you may have been forced out of this energy. I'm gonna pull one more for that Lover's card. The Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, some of you still are struggling with this energy of surrender. Because I feel like a lot of you are, show you the card. I feel like a lot of you are very much used to, controlling the situation. Especially if you struggle with codependency. Codependents tend to manipulate people's emotions in order to get them back in their good graces. And it's not even manipulation in like a terrible way. It's like when you were raised in a household where, you know, it was hostile or it was dysfunctional, you kind of were trained to make sure you're pleasing everyone, or kind of like manipulating their emotions, meaning that trying to make them feel good or trying to flatter them in order to, you know, get them to be happy again, because when they're happy, then you're happy. So I feel like you're so used to getting your needs met in this way that you feel just completely, how do I explain this? You feel just, how do I even explain this? Upside down. Like you just feel not right, because you're so used to being able to control the situation, and now you feel like it's out of your hands and you just don't know what to do about it. But through this process, you are regaining your power, even if you don't know it. Just allow things to play out the way that they need to play out, and put your energy and attention into something productive. Like really set some type of goal, even if it's a small goal. Like even if it's a small goal, like I'm going to make myself a healthy breakfast every day this week. Set a small goal, because that is the first step towards taking back your power, taking back your energy, and like having things to look forward to day by day, so that you won't go back to the past. Okay, this is what I had to tell you, because I was like, wait, there's something I have to tell them. When I was meditating on this energy before, when I was meditating on your energy before, I got this very clear like story or like image in my mind, where it was like someone was in like a small village, right? This is you're in like a small little, it wasn't even like a village, it was like a little hut, like you're in a small hut, and in this hut, you know, it has like water and it has food, but the water and the food are like the water is kind of dirty but it's drinkable, the food is kind of like stale. It's just not a very pleasant place to be, and on top of that, it's like affecting your health. It's like everything is just, nothing in the hut is good. Like I'm trying to explain what I see in my head. It's just like this little hut, and it's livable though. Like you get like your little bit of needs met. Like you have a little bit of bread here, a little bit of water there, but it's just very like not a good place to live. So you finally decide, hey, I'm not in prison here. I can get up and leave. I can get up and leave this hut. And so you get up to leave the hut, and you start walking outside of your house, outside of the hut and down the road, right? And as you're walking down this path, all you see is like desert in front of you, just like a wide open, just picture like a wide open desert. I'll try to like insert a picture if I can find one of how it looks in my head. And immediately you freeze, because you're like, okay, this desert. I can't see anything ahead of it. Like, all I see is desert. I don't know what's going on. Like, once I start walking, how long is it going to be until I find more food and water? Like, you're basically frightened to move forward. And because of this, because you are seeing the unknown and you don't know what's going to happen once you venture out, you decide to turn around and go back to the hut. Because at least in the hut, you know that there's water and food. And I feel like I got that image in my head because the hut is representing your soulmate situation, or just situations in your life in general with people. It could be friendships, relationships, whatever, where they are getting, like, they are meeting your needs in a very small, basic way, but not really. Like, they're giving you a little bit of what you want, but they're giving you, like, it's very minuscule compared to what you need to feel fulfilled. And basically the rest of your life lies beyond that desert. Like, you have to walk across that desert, and because it's so unknown, you're afraid to. So you rather just stay in the little hut, stay with the people from your past who just barely give you anything. And basically what I'm saying is that, like, if you were to take that risk and to walk out into that desert to be divinely guided and taken care of because you had faith and because you surrendered to the process and you just went forward. Now, that's not to say, like, blindly jumping into something is, like, the right way to go. No. But I feel as though what it's saying is that when you choose self-love and you choose to leave something behind because you know it's not as good as it could get, God really does enter your life in a way where he kind of like picks you up and carries you across that desert and starts to bring all the good things that you have been wanting and needing and deserving into your life. So I feel like what it's saying is that God is trying to remove you from this situation into better things, and all you have to do is surrender and trust. See what I'm saying? Just surrender and trust, and stop trying to map out how things should be, or like how things need to go, and just kind of like have faith, look forward, keep your head forward, and keep on moving. Just surrender, and then better things are waiting for you on the other side. It's like God chooses you or helps you when you choose yourself, is what I'm seeing. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands, the Tower card in reverse, and then the Four of Cups in reverse. So, like I said before, some of you are being forced to let go. Like, you didn't feel like, some of you actually wanted to let go, but some of you were being forced into letting go. And I feel like you were only holding on because you were fearing disaster. And by disaster, I mean you were fearing that feeling that you get once you are removed from someone that you love. Especially if you have abandonment issues, someone that you love being removed from your life, it causes you major stress and anxiety. And a lot of you were holding on to your relationship or to that person for that very reason. Fearing that inevitable feeling of abandonment, like that hollow, empty feeling that you were trying to avoid. But it was unavoidable, I'm seeing. Because it's like, even when you're with that person, you still feel like a bit of that abandonment and that loneliness. So it's like, it's better to move away from that energy and feel it fully so you can get over it versus just feeling it slowly but surely while you're still with that person, because you were feeling that while you were with them, of course. Like, have to be, because I'm saying here that whoever this soulmate was, like, they weren't really paying you much attention, or they weren't meeting your emotional needs the way that it needed to be met, so it was triggering a wound in you anyway. Let me pull one more. Oh, okay. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles come out, I mean. Okay, one more. Okay, this makes sense. So, remember when I said earlier that some of you are using your ego as a way to heal? I feel like this is saying that it's going to stunt your healing process. And I know I said that you can use your ego as a way to heal, as like a kind of stepping stone to get out of whatever this is. But I feel like, to get out of, gosh, okay, slow down, Shaniqua. Okay, and I know I said that you could use your ego to kind of use as a stepping stone to get out of the dark hole that you've been in. But I feel like some of you really need to be mindful of taking that and running with it to the point where you're not healing. Like, being so afraid of the pain of grieving that you'd rather brush it off as like, okay, well, I'm too good for that person anyway. I don't care anyway. Like, anybody they choose ain't gonna be better than me. Like, that's very superficial healing. Like, that's a superficial, like, way of looking at the situation so that you don't have to face the pain of the rejection or, like, losing them. And I feel like that's going to kind of stunt your healing process, so be mindful of that. Now, for others of you, because everybody's at different points in their soulmate relationships, for others of you, this, basically what this energy is saying is that you are at the tail end of your soulmate cycle, And because you are at the tail end, that you are not really grieving the loss of this person as much as you thought you were or as much as you once were. So there's two different scenarios there. I feel like I need to pull for that too. The Ace of Cups. Yeah, it's like, yeah, two very different groups I'm seeing here. Not that different, but like some of you, like I said, have come to the realization that this cup of love, like these emotions that you share with each other is completely like it's done. And you are okay with that. Like you are moving forward with that and you are happy that you're coming out of this energy. But like I said, some of you are kind of resisting feeling that pain and resisting the grieving and kind of using your ego as a way to like suppress it. And if you're doing that, I feel like it's going to just prolong the pain. So you might just need to let yourself grieve, is what I'm seeing. So then I have the Knight of Pentacles and the Sun card in reverse. Okay. I made that face because I saw like a specific message just now. Some of you are still thinking about going back to the soulmate or trying to make them some type of offer. And I'm seeing that you're going to be met with darkness with this Sun card in reverse. If you try to make them some type of offer, I feel like it's not going to go well. Especially if they are the person that messed up, or they're the person that left you or abandoned you and you were the one putting in the energy and effort. Don't offer them anything. If this person is supposed to come back around to be your life partner, they will be the ones offering to you. You won't have to offer them anything. You won't have to extend anything to them. That's a form of control. That's a form of trying to still stay in control of the situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing here that it's just going to pull you back into a dark place if you do. Yeah, the Knight of Cups in reverse. If you were to go back and try to offer them something and you want like a stable relationship, you're going to be met with being pulled back into that dark energy. But also they may actually accept what you offer them, but they'll just turn around and do the same things that they've been doing and playing the same little games that they've been playing. So it's just not, like if you're thinking about doing that, just think twice about it. Now, for other people, if your soulmate tries to offer to you this week, be mindful of their energy. If they're trying to offer to you and you still pick up the same energy that you've been picking up from them, like you feel drained around them, you feel triggered, you still feel like something's off, then reject their offer. I'm saying here that, like, for some of you, if they try to contact you, you'll know immediately whether or not they are serious about starting fresh and brand new. Like, you'll know immediately by their energy, by the way they're making you feel, by the way they're talking. Are they apologizing? Are they trying to sweep things under the rug? Like, you'll know how serious they are by how they approach you. Okay, I'm going to reshuffle and pull 3 more. Okay, so I'm seeing the 3 of Pentacles and the Hermit card. So pretty much through this soulmate experience, you may have gone into hermit mode to the point where you've done research, you've sought guidance, and now through that research or that guidance, it's like now you have sort of a direction in life, or you've learned new tools or new things about yourself that you did not know. And so now you may have discovered a passion of yours, or you are on the road to discovering a passion of yours. It's like through the soulmate experience, because you've spent so much time in isolation and kind of trying to reserve or preserve your energy, it's like you have gained some sort of knowledge or like wisdom. I'm seeing like research, let me clarify so I know what I'm talking about. I see like some type of research, like really researching a specific subject really, really heavily, and now something to do with that subject is going to be incorporated into your 5-year plan. What is this 3 of Pentacles? Okay, I feel like that just fell out. This is 3 of Pentacles. The Ace of Cups. Yeah, it's like something that sparked an interest in you emotionally, and now you want to further explore it, and you're gonna, it's like you're going to incorporate it into whatever future plan you're making, and then it's like investing in this is going to grow into emotional contentment to the point where you're going to see your soulmate experience as a positive one, even though right now it looks bleak and negative because it didn't turn out the way you want it to. You're going to be able to look back on it and say, okay, if I didn't go through this, I wouldn't have researched this, and then I wouldn't have learned this, and now this is like an important part of my life path, or like I discovered something I'm passionate about. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so Over here, we have the Queen of Wands being clarified by the King of Wands. So we have counterparts here. I think these exact same counterparts came out in the last reading. So I am reading your energy as the Queen of Wands energy here, and your soulmates as the King of Wands energy in reverse. So you two mirror each other without a doubt. What soulmates do that. So I'm feeling like you are needing to kind of observe the things that you liked about your soulmate and take those traits and use them to propel yourself forward. So if they were a hard worker, it's time for you to start working harder. If they knew how to relax and be peaceful, then maybe it's your time to learn how to incorporate relaxation and peace into your daily self-care regimen. You see what I'm saying? It's like anything about them that you felt like you lacked and that they have, you have it. It's just, it's dormant within you because you have not been practicing it. So usually with the King of Wands energy is someone who's like confident and who kind of like go after their goals and dreams. And I feel like if your soulmate was that way, you could have lacked that. And now it's like you're being called to adopt that energy in order for you to move past this soulmate, is what I'm seeing. Especially if it's a twin flame. I don't want to get too much into it, but especially if it's a twin flame, because with twin flames, it's like coming into union with your twin flame is ultimately awakening either the divine masculine or the divine feminine within you, whichever one you're lacking. So if you're a divine feminine, it's like awakening that divine masculine energy within you so that you can come into union within yourself, and then ultimately you and your twin flame can come into union. But again, don't get too hung up on, oh, I don't know if this is my twin flame or my soulmate. It doesn't matter. It really seriously doesn't matter, because whatever happens, because at the end of the day, when your work is self-focused and you're focused on you, you're open to, like I said before, whatever God, the divine, like the universe has for you, whether it be this person coming back to your life or someone who matches their energy but better. You see what I'm saying? So don't even get hung up on like, how do I know if this is my twin flame? It literally does not matter. Like I'm telling you, don't even go like searching for clues as to which is which, because it doesn't matter. Just like really focus on your own self-work. So I did pull additional 5 cards here. Now, interesting messages. I feel like this is for a specific person or a specific like small group of you. Some of you are in the stage of your soulmate relationship where you feel so drained and you are still wanting energy from your soulmate that you get energy from like lurking on their social media page or contacting them. Like even if they respond like a short subtle response to you, you still get like that energetic burst from them. And I'm seeing here that that is going to be coming to an end because you can't keep depending on them to make you feel good, is what I'm seeing. And there's no need to like shame yourself or beat yourself up over it, because when you have a strong soulmate connection to someone, it's to teach you a lesson. Like it's to teach you something about yourself, because you mirror each other. So the only reason that you are so attached to this soulmate in this way is because they reflect your wounds back to you. So it's like a very strong, like, I don't want to call it a trauma bond, but it's almost like a trauma bond. Like it's so strong to the point where you feel like you do need them to replenish you energetically. So even just giving them getting a glimpse of their social media makes you happy. You see what I'm saying? So there's no need to shame yourself for it. And I feel like if you are shaming yourself for that, like you can't stop checking their social media. If you are shaming yourself, I'm seeing that you're making it worse. It's like the more you shame yourself and beat yourself up over it, like, oh, I'm so stupid, I keep on checking. It's like the more it's going to give you a reason to check. Because like I said, when it comes to having these type of bonds that we're trying to break with someone that we have a soulmate connection with, you already are experiencing shame from what you've been through with them, because your wounds are coming to the surface. So it's like, it's kind of foolish to shame yourself further, because the more shame you experience, the tighter the hold they're going to have on you. You see what I'm saying? So you check their social media and you're like, oh, I'm so dumb. Why do I keep on doing this? Oh, I'm so dumb. I keep responding to their text messages. Why am I doing this? I'm so stupid. And it's like, yeah, you're shaming yourself more and more and more to the point where you're going to need them to replenish you more and more and more. So I feel like you have to find like this good balance of being a mother to yourself and being like, it's okay, I understand why you are the way you are, I understand why you're doing these things, but then also being a father to yourself and setting those rules and boundaries. Like, listen, I understand why you're doing this, I understand why you're connected to this person, but you need to stop doing that. Like, I love you, and because I love you, I'm going to tell you, you need to stop checking this social media. Like, don't see it as like, oh, I'm so stupid and ashamed of myself, because it's like I said, you're just beating yourself up to the point where you're going to need them to help lift you out of that hole again. You see what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense. So, if you have been experiencing any misfortune, I feel like this is basically talking about the law of attraction too. But don't worry, because like you're coming out of this energy. But I feel like if you've been feeling like everything's just going wrong, it's because you're in like a very low vibrational frequency and you're on the same vibrational frequency level as misfortune. So that's why things kind of have been going wrong. And that's why it's really important to focus on your self-work. I should show you this. That's why it's really important, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So I find it really important to focus on your own work, like your self-healing. Because you don't want to stay on that low vibrational frequency for too long and manifest like a bunch of like negative bullshit into your life. You see what I'm saying? And it's like you can't rush the process. You can't force yourself to be happy just so, oh, I need to be happy so I can manifest good things. No, it's a healing process, but just make sure you're not staying on that low frequency for longer than you need to. See what I'm saying? Like prolonging the process by like staying in contact with the soulmate or like checking their social media. See what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense. So this process of getting over, you know, this wounded heart that you still possess, because it's not over. Like we're still in the throes of the soulmate cycle. It's not completely over yet. If it was over, you probably wouldn't even need to watch this video. You probably wouldn't be called to watch this video, honestly, because that's how energy works. So I'm seeing here that you are coming out of it, but it's going to take work. And it's going to take discipline. You can't really expect to come out of this without you putting in any work. And I know it's unfortunate because you just want to wake up and you just want to feel good. But I'm seeing here that you are needing to do some type of work to get over this heartache. Because if you just wake up every day, you're kind of just going with the flow. Naturally, you're going to flow right back to that pain. Your thoughts are going to flow right back to the soulmate. So you can't really afford to go with the flow at this time, I'm seeing. You can't really afford to go with the flow. You have to actually have a set plan and be disciplined within your plan, is what I'm saying. So, 3 of Wands in reverse. That is someone without a plan. So, if you do not have a plan, the first thing that's coming to my mind is Napoleon Hill. I think he said something along the lines of like, you know, trying to get somewhere without having a plan is like basically being a ship without a captain. Like the ship, you just kind of like let it go up to the ocean, and where's the ship going? Just anywhere. But with the captain being the plan, that means that you are able to go directly where you want to go. So if your aim is to get over this soulmate and to better yourself, improve your self-esteem, because you never want to feel as low as they made you feel, you never want to be triggered in the way that you were triggered again, you have to have a goal and a plan in order to get to this destination. And it's not going to be easy and it's going to take work. But I'm seeing here that you are worth the work. And that's why it's going to be hard and take work, because God, the divine, is trying to show you that the same way you show up for people and work hard for them to be in your life, you need to now work that hard for yourself. So this is teaching you about showing up for yourself. And that's why it seems like it's so hard and difficult to get over this, because God wants you to prove to yourself how much you love yourself and how much you are worth doing this work. Because I'm sure you've done a lot of work, emotional labor for this soulmate. I'm sure that you've gone out of your way to try to make them happy, try to make them comfortable, try to make them see you, try to make them love you. And it's like you have to be willing to put that much energy and effort into yourself now. And that's why it feels like, oh, I just can't get over this person. It's because God's going to make you work for it. But it's not really working for it. It's really working for you. Okay? Okay, so that was your reading. Sorry if it was a little bit all over the place. Sorry, I'm not pulling no more. Okay. That was your reading. Like I said, sorry if it was a little all over the place. I hope that you got the gist of the message. I forgot to mention in my intro that next week, like I'm doing these every week. So next week, I'm going to be doing half on here, and then I'm going to be doing like an extended on Vimeo. And now I'm about to meditate again and cleanse my cards. And then I'm about to do my finance reading, and I should be basically uploading those at the same time. So that should be up next as well. And again, thank you so much for watching this reading. I really hope it was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.